Alright, so let me give you a bit of background before we jump into the video. When I was working with Rexman to create these characters for the videos, I wanted each of them to have a certain significance. Cough cough, link to everyone who helps make the channel, including Rexman, is in the description. Cough cough. So for instance, what I have on now is a blue jacket with a red shirt, and that's essentially to represent Sega and Nintendo. I also don't know if anybody's actually noticed this, but I am wearing a small little button, and it's Kingdom Hearts, because I like Kingdom Hearts.
Yo! Donald, no!
While this one is more fancy, this one is actually meant to represent Microsoft and Xbox with the green bow tie. So for anyone saying, I can't believe he's not representing Microsoft and Xbox, you're welcome. And this yellow jacket is very similar to one that I have in real life. No real gaming element there. I just like the jacket. They're like little hints of gaming without being overly obvious, which was the main goal. There are also outfits that I could see myself actually wearing. Rexman and I worked so hard in making sure that these outfits were appealing and still connected to what I was talking about. Now, while making them, I did have to look up some outfits to get a general idea of what I wanted. So I went to Google, typed in gaming clothes, and...
Gaming mode active. I paused my game to be...
No! They say I have a gaming problem. Like it's a bad thing.
I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about fashion. And no, not this kind of fashion either. This one is just confusing to everybody. I'd consider my style to be pretty standard. I wear a shirt from... I'm not telling you where I get my shirts from, they don't sponsor me yet. But if I don't tell you where I get the shirts, then they won't know that I wear them. It's Roosevelt. I like Roosevelt shirts. And with that, I wear khakis. That's my go-to outfit most of the time. Along with the shirts, though, I do have some t-shirts, though these are more of my weekend shirts, if I'm really being honest. And then on the complete opposite end is gaming shirts.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Gaming shirts stink, there's no other way to say it. It's pretty much a rule in fashion that if your clothes have anything to do with a video game or just gaming in general, it has to be bad. Though on the other hand, over the years, I have noticed that gaming shirts have been changing. Gaming shirts are actually starting to fit in with normal fashion. Just so we can see the changes with gaming shirts, I've split this video into different categories, showing where these shirts began and where they are now. And starting off, we have... jokes. So picture this. You're walking down to Walmart, or for my European viewers, Auchan. Is that how you pronounce it? I think so. You head to the clothing aisle and ask someone for a gaming shirt, and they pull out... this. Video games ruined my life. Luckily I have 2 left! This is where the problems begin. Aesthetically, these kinds of shirts aren't necessarily bad. None of them have much to do with a specific video game or companies in general, but they do seem to be insulting someone. There's shirts like this one too. I paused my game to be here. They seem to either attack the person wearing the shirt or reading the shirt. In some cases, they might just give off the wrong impression too. I'm not procrastinating. I'm doing side quests. Great, so my first thought of you is that you aren't reliable and you waste my time and yours. Who wears these shirts? We all see them and we all know about them, but when was the last time you saw someone actually wear these shirts? But the worst shirt that falls under the joke category was back in the early 2000s. Today, it seems more acceptable to play video games and talk about them with people. In fact, there's entire YouTube channels dedicated to doing just that. Including this one! We upload every Thursday here, so make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss out. Subscribing is easy, it's free, and you can always unsubscribe later. Alright, with the call to action now done, let me just check that off real quick. Perfect. It's time to show you what gaming shirts were like back when I was but a wee lad.
Warning. The following image may be disturbing for children of the early 2000s. Viewer discretion is advised.
How to spot a gamer shirts were everywhere. This shirt is awful in so many ways, but the art style is my least favorite thing about it. If someone was walking by wearing this shirt, you wouldn't be able to read a single thing. The only thing you'd see is this absolute, there's no other word for it, freak. Now, what are some things it says to look out for? Well, a gamer always has weeks of unfinished homework. Even adult gamers will have homework with them. Your mom who plays Candy Crush on her phone, yeah, go ask her how much homework she has unfinished. They'll also have sore eyes, sore thumbs, and hands. With legs. At any time. There's many shirts like this one, but these shirts just stink. It would take years for these shirts to finally leave. And don't worry, I helped the cause. Over time, video games seemed to become more acceptable with people, and it was getting better to talk about them. The only problem with this is that these new gaming shirts began to become a little bit too specific. This is mainly seen in children's and babies' clothing. Hey there, champ, there's my future gaming buddy. Hypothetically, your baby doesn't grow up to like video games. Now you're stuck with a piece of clothing that you'll keep as a parent because it's a memory, but your child will think it's just a little strange.
Hey guys, I play video games periodically.
So this shirt has to be worn by someone who not only likes games, but also science. I'm not saying that's impossible, but it's highly unlikely that anyone's going to pick this up and actually choose to wear this. I'm 39 years old and I'm completely addicted to coolmathgames.com. This sounds like a confession at a Gamers Anonymous meeting. What's worse is that the ages don't stop there. This is the same shirt with the same joke. Just take a minute to guess the age. I'll give you a full minute. You're wrong, it's for someone who's 1400 years old. Now, out of everyone who makes gaming shirts, you'd think the best would come from the gaming companies. After all, they're the one in charge of the brands. Now, I've got to be honest here. Many of the shirts so far have either been from Etsy or Redbubble. They're made by the fans for other potential fans, regardless of just how strange they are. But what about the brands and companies that make the games? Surely they know their audience a little better. Let's take a look first at Xbox.
Whoa, Xbox, record that. I just wish I had more time to play. Yo!
Listen, I know I've been kind of mean towards Xbox and Microsoft for a while, but I gotta say, their shirts aren't too bad. Some look like they could just be worn around and no one would really know it was from a game. Others do have a more specific game element to them, which is also nice to see. Many of the shirts have a nice style about them too. Overall, it's not a bad lineup. Now, not all of them are incredible. This one just says Xbox, a little strange, and this one looks like you just got run over by a mutant truck. But for the most part, not bad, Xbox. As for Nintendo, they're definitely going for more of a specific fan here. The designs are cute, which makes sense for them being a family brand. A lot of Splatoon, Animal Crossing, and Metroid shirts. They're alright. But what I'm curious in is to see how they handle their main brand, though, Mario. So that's 1 point for Xbox. Listen, the shirts aren't bad. They're a bit more forward with advertising their games, sure, but they are catering to their fans. When you think of a Nintendo shirt, these are the kind of shirts that you think of. But Xbox seems to have more, character? You're able to have more fun with the Xbox shirts than with the Nintendo shirts. And lastly, let's take a look at PlayStation. I'm not going to go too in-depth about these shirts. They're better than Nintendo, I can say that much for sure. With their games, they followed the same idea with just taking the logo, slapping it onto a shirt, and calling it a day. Oh, and look, they have a shirt that looks like it got run over too! But there are some shirts that are just... This is an official shirt for The Last of Us Part 2, and it looks like it was made in Photoshop in about 4 minutes. Compared to Xbox, I'd say PlayStation is just about the same when it comes to these shirts. They both have shirts for their audience that aren't terrible, and some are even pretty good. Overall, it is clear that many video game shirts are getting better. From insulting anyone who even thought about picking up a controller, to now having shirts that seem to celebrate a specific game or company, it's nice to see a positive change. Now that does bring me to the end of this video, but I do have one last message for video game shirt designers. Listen, all we want is something that is able to celebrate gaming without it seeming like a cheap cash grab or overly nerdy. You're making progress, so don't stop now, and I think that many of us would be happy with something just simple, like this. Don't overthink it. Just make a good gaming shirt. And by the way, if you do actually happen to own any of these kinds of shirts that I mentioned in the video, I'm not sorry.